Hello, Joy Olson, Blockbuster Fundraising. Wow, I didn't really intend to do this, but the culmination of the 2017 Giving Tuesday results are so fantastic, and so many conflicting pros and cons comments that I just couldn't resist taking a bunch of that information and putting it together, because frankly, I thought it was fantastic. And as a former executive director and development director, I think it's one of the most exciting things that's happened in my career, in my 22-year career, from 2012 to 2017. It's exciting. So anyhow, I just thought it would be fun to take a few different views and talk about it, throw it out there for you. Okay, well, first person I'm going to put out there is Jay Love. Jay Love talks about supporting, he supports a large number of wonderful nonprofits, both nationally and locally. And he is talking about a few years back. And he said one of the organizations that they supported had a Giving Tuesday campaign. And before the day was over a few years back, they had been solicited several times by this organization on Giving Tuesday. So he said by late afternoon, he was concerned enough to reach out by phone and to ask his contact at the organization if they wanted his annual gift now or later, because I guess they felt that it was so important to getting the gift on Giving Tuesday that maybe they should give their annual gift now. So the person, the development person that he was talking to on the phone said, yeah, make your gift now on Giving Tuesday, your annual gift. And guess what? Wrong answer. They did. Jay did. Jay Love and his wife gave it the same exact level as the previous year, which they did by check from their charitable giving account. Well, now guess what happens? And this is a few years ago. Just 3 weeks later, their investment advisors sold numerous shares of appreciated stock and moved the proceeds into the charitable giving account to avoid capital gain taxes and to allow them to be even more generous in their giving that year. They were able to more than double many of their annual fund gifts right before year end. But guess what? Unfortunately, they didn't make an additional gift to the charity that solicited us so much on Giving Tuesday, because they'd already given them their annual gift. And imagine how many of your major gift people have great stock portfolio appreciation this year. Wow. So he says, I wonder how often this exact scenario unfolds for other donors. I wonder too, because I don't think as a development director, if I had a major gift donor or an important donor like Jay Love call me and say, would you like my annual gift now or later? I would definitely say later, because Giving Tuesday is a kickoff. And as a development director, I think of Giving Tuesday more specifically for acquiring new donors and in the social media realm. And so I think this is a unique experience for Jay Love. But I think that it's such an important point to make, especially this year with the stock market. Think about that. Think about all those appreciated stocks. Okay, so here now Jay Love, he tells that story, and then he answers his question. He thinks that his Giving Tuesday people that he called, they would have answered differently if they had been thinking about segmentation, okay? He feels that whoever answered that phone, the development director, if they had really looked at their database and had segmented out, they would have avoided saying, sure, go ahead, send in your Giving Tuesday gift and we'll call it your annual gift. Because Jay says donors like me, donors like him, who make above average gifts through donor advised funds, there you go, donor advised funds, that's another big thing that's coming at development directors and at year end you deal with. If you've got to segment these people out of your one-size-fits-all Giving Tuesday appeals or any other one-size-fits-all appeals. There's really no such thing as a one-size-fits-all appeals unless it's your fun, creative, social media, online Giving Tuesday campaign. So Jay says, yeah, he represents a very specific donor type, and he may be a rare segment, but he says, what about other possible Giving Tuesday segments? How could they be solicited differently on Giving Tuesday rather than on sending the same appeal to everyone on your list? So he says, let's look at a few key segments to consider next Giving Tuesday. Okay, so you can think about this, and really this is a very good list, not only to put in your 2018 Giving Tuesday segmentation plans, but for just segmenting, because this is perfect. He says, segment out your lapsed donors who haven't given in 2+ years. Your prospective donors who have never given, I think they are perfect for Giving Tuesday. They've been hanging out in the sidelines. This is their opportunity to come out and show themselves and get excited about your creative online Giving Tuesday campaigns. Segment out donors who've only given once. Your monthly donors, save that, they're good. You want to save them. Volunteers, I think volunteers and employees and vendors and board members are perfectly fun for Giving Tuesday because you know some of them well enough that they can be your peer-to-peer fundraisers, but nevertheless they are a segment that you'll want to deal with. And then of course you've got your current donors, your former donors, lower level donors, mid-level donors, above average donors, major donors. You get this. The possibilities are limitless, and the more you segment, the higher your chances of personalization of your appeal and your ask amount, because you sure as heck don't want to ask for and get a $250 gift when the donor, like Jay, well, I can't speak for him, but what if they've had huge, look at the stock market this year. You may have the chance of a $25,000 gift. It could happen with your major donors. So don't do the one ask, the blanket appeal. And don't ever, on a Giving Tuesday, I think of it as your lower level, your new people, your one gifters, your maybe some lapsed donors and your prospective donors that have never given. That's what you really want to concentrate on. So Jay Love says this year, the day after Giving Tuesday, he observed from a large number of friends on social media that they felt compelled to finally unsubscribe from one or more charities that they had been supporting. Well, I support quite a few charities, and maybe it's just because I'm a development director and I've been in the business a long time, and I'm really interested in what the appeal is going to look like. I would be disappointed if somebody I supported didn't care enough about their project and their impact to be out there on Giving Tuesday. So I have an entirely different view than a donor that would be upset and say, gee, they shouldn't be asking on Giving Tuesday, or they shouldn't have sent me 2 or 3 emails. I'm unsubscribing. I think that if it's that easy to unsubscribe from someone that you've been supporting, that perhaps they haven't proven to you their value proposition, their ask, their story, their segmentation, they haven't worked hard enough to get it right. Okay, let's look at, I think, the ultimate 2017 infographic. Will Schmidt put this together for Classy, and I think that you're going to love what you see on screen. So we're going to put it up there for you to take a look. Giving Tuesday 2017, the 6th annual Giving Tuesday blew 2016 out of the water. $274 million in total donations. Absolutely wonderful. Classy's a huge platform for Giving Tuesday peeps. They raised more than $10 million. And look at this. They had almost $92,000 on the Classy platform on Giving Tuesday. So people were out there. And look at this. California, 1.9 million, and New York closing in close at 933,000. Look at this. 10 a.m., 12 p.m., 8 p.m. were the peak times, but actually consistent all day long. And the Giving Tuesday All-Stars, take a look at that list. Seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing. They did great, and we are proud of them. So nonprofits raise more during year-end when they participate in Giving Tuesday, peeps. That is what Network for Good says, and Network for Good says that 8.8 million were raised on Giving Tuesday at Network for Good, with almost 58,000 donors. And look at the number of nonprofits participating this year, almost 8,000, up from 3,000 the first year. And mobile is where it's happening. 14% of the donations this year were on mobile, up from 4% in 2013. And the top organization types receiving donations, you see it there, health and wealth, health and medical, number 1. And nonprofits raise more during year-end, folks, when they participate in Giving Tuesday. I think that no matter who says what, pros or cons, about Giving Tuesday, as a development director, I truly believe that Giving Tuesday is a gold mine for new donors. When you're thinking about the pros and cons of this marvelous kickoff fundraising year-end vehicle, think about new donors and how difficult acquisition is. So these incredible Giving Tuesday data spikes speak for themselves. People are participating in the movement, and it definitely warranted your attention, and it warranted your attention this year. And why some organizations are still hesitant to join in is probably Classy thinks that they worry about their efforts decreasing donations in other campaigns like your year-end fundraising. All right. According to Classy's platform data, these concerns couldn't be further from the truth. Instead, they found 3 things in their Giving Tuesday data, and their Giving Tuesday platform experts. Their data analysis showed them what makes this day unique from any other giving day. And here's what it is. Dun, 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 dun. Giving Tuesday brings in an incredible number of new donors. New donors acquired through Giving Tuesday are more likely to donate again. Did you hear that? They're more likely to donate again than donors giving for the first time to other events. Giving Tuesday donors are 60% more likely to give multiple times on that one day compared to donors who give on a typical day or during disaster relief, and 150% more likely to give multiple times in one day than on other days during end-of-year fundraising. Interesting. Classes dive into their Giving Tuesday data. They started looking at the fundraising trajectory for the week before and after each event over multiple years and occurrences, and both across the entire platform and within specific cause categories. So this helped them assess consistency, both within an event and across events. All right, so let's take a look. From left to right, Classy's graphs showcase data surrounding 1. Giving Tuesday data. On the far left, Giving Tuesday shows a single spike drastically above baseline, such that 25% of volume in the month surrounding the event is found on a single day. Year-end fundraising data. In the middle, year-end fundraising shows a slow ramp up to a big final day with a much less focused peak. Other measures, number of donations, site traffic, do not show any spike. Instead, year-end fundraising brings in larger donations. So, big point here is segment out your bigger donors. Don't hit them hard on Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday, think your small donors, your prospect new donors. All right, back to the graph. Disaster relief data. On the far right, disaster relief shows big changes in fundraising, but much more distributed over time and less consistent with any specific start date. Disaster relief can be very media-driven and therefore harder to relate to the actual event date. Classy's Giving Tuesday data shows that Giving Tuesday is an absolute bonanza of new prospects. It brings in twice as many new donors as December 31st, 3 times more than a typical day during disaster relief, and over 13 times more than a typical day. And for each of these events, 75% of one-time donations are made by first-time donors. And because Giving Tuesday generates more traffic than any other day, it results in the largest influx of new donors. Typically, your strong acquisition channels like peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns can show lower retention rates purely because the number of new donors is so great. But that is not the case with Giving Tuesday. I mean, that's just incredible. That's why it's so important when you're doing a Giving Tuesday campaign and you want it to be successful, you get your staff and you get your volunteers and you get your board members and you get your social media peeps that like it the best, and you get those peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns going, because their sphere of influence, loving the cause, those donors, those new donors are very likely to stick around, especially if you've got a new welcome packet that just gives them a great big hug and keeps them there. So not only is Giving Tuesday the best acquisition opportunity, donors acquired during Giving Tuesday are 10 to 15% more likely to give again than donors acquired on typical days through peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns. This is like important. These new donors from Giving Tuesday are also 10 to 15% more likely to give again than donors acquired on December 31st. So, Classy couldn't derive a similar retention metric for disaster relief. And, well, they say, especially since Hurricane Harvey and Irma, they've just happened so recently. And Giving Tuesday brings in new donors or who are more engaged. It's not just the volume or retention of new donors that they find so interesting. Classy says that these donors are also clearly much more engaged supporters for the organizations that they give to. And they see this in 3 ways. First, the new donors interact with a more diverse array of the campaigns that are hosted on Classy. So donation pages are excellent for obtaining recurring subscription, but compared to your ticketed events and your peer-to-peer campaigns, they have relatively low donor engagement. Donors acquired on Giving Tuesday are most likely to give on another day to peer-to-peer campaigns, a type of online fundraising that is truly engaging. So this is just really important information, and it should be making you want right now to strategically think about your 2018 Giving Tuesday campaign. I think you should think positively about it. Put it in an acquisition light. Put it in an acquisition type budget. You can get so creative and have so much fun with it. So I know you've got a lot of year-end responsibilities right now, but Giving Tuesday, I think it's proven itself, and we're going to show you this fabulous 2017 success infographic, but it's proven itself, and you really need to be using it. And in addition to all that, Classy says that the new donors acquired through Giving Tuesday become peer-to-peer fundraisers 3 to 4 times more frequently than new donors acquired any other way. So, and that's important because peer-to-peer fundraising is making such a big difference now. Oh my gosh. I mean, J.J. Watt, look what he did with Hurricane Harvey. Look what that young girl did with the homeless man that helped her with gas. I donated to that. She wanted $1,200, and I think they cut it off at, or the last time I saw it was $350,000. The peer-to-peer fundraising is important fundraising. So you've got you definitely need to get with this, to find a place for peer-to-peer fundraising in your development department. And finally, Classy says that Giving Tuesday donors are so motivated that they are 60 to 150%. Get that? 60 to 150% more likely to give multiple times to the same organization on that single day compared to any other donors on a typical day. Wow! They said that on Classy, on that platform, on their platform, they see some donors giving up to 37 times on Giving Tuesday alone. I'd say that's a motivated donor and a very good Giving Tuesday campaign. So here's what they say their tips and takeaways are. Here's some ideas and best practices for you to consider for your 2000 Giving Tuesday efforts. Use crowdfunding and donation page campaigns over ticketed events for Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday is an online event, and online fundraising campaigns show much more engagement than offline efforts, both in terms of donation volume and gift sizes. So given the short window of giving, focus on crowdfunding and donation pages and save peer-to-peer fundraising for post-Giving Tuesday to engage your new donors. That's their takeaway, that's their tip. And leverage your social media channels. Giving Tuesday launched as a hashtag and is still driven strongly by social media. It is social media, Giving Tuesday. And new donors are engaged in online fundraising. So use your online tools to engage them. Development is going online. It's all about mobile. It's online. So you've got to get with it. You've got to be there. So you want to engage your Giving Tuesday donors to become fundraisers. And donors who are inspired to give for the first time to your organization during these days are already highly activated and much more ready to become peer-to-peer fundraisers. And peer-to-peer fundraisers typically raise 4 to 6 times what the typical donor would give. So this is a great way to advance your online fundraising and leaps and bounds. So given these trends, it's clear that you can no longer afford to skip out on Giving Tuesday and the implications that Giving Tuesday have. It's an unparalleled opportunity to inquire and engage donors. It only happens once a year, and you can just have fun with it. There's an example here that we're going to put up on the screen. And remember too that Giving Tuesday really jumpstarts your year-end fundraising. You're not going to cut it off because you're going to segment your donors. You're not going to concentrate on your major gift donors or your mid-level donors. You're going to think of your lower donors, maybe your lapsed acquisition. Acquisition is for new donors. So look on your screen and check out the way that Hand and Paw customized their Giving Tuesday logo to include puppy ears. And it's adorable, but it's a great way to stay on brand while using the Giving Tuesday logo. I thought maybe you would enjoy this little idea. And remember too, for next year, that businesses and sponsors, you can find them to match your donations, and you can find them to match them year-round. So consider a matching gift idea for year-end or for the for your next Giving Tuesday campaign. We love Giving Tuesday for 2017. It was a great success. I really hope that you participated and had fun with it. And if you didn't do well with Giving Tuesday, I think that you maybe can get some tips from this compilation of facts about Giving Tuesday. And so 2018 will be an entirely different story for you. All right, Joy Olson of Blockbuster Fundraising. We have lots of information on our blog page, blockbusterfundraising.com. More information at joyolsongroup.com, and hundreds of free fundraising video tips on our YouTube channel. So see you soon. Back to year-end fundraising, but we just couldn't help but put this, our Giving Tuesday thoughts together for you so you can maybe take some time to think about it now, or save this for when you're making your plans for 2018. All right, bye-bye, thanks.